So, hey, but look, man, you've been doing your thing for some years now.
Yeah.
Obviously, heavily MMG affiliated. I just saw you with Ross. Was you at Dre's this past weekend when Drake was there?
Not this weekend. I didn't go.
Yeah,
but
that would have been the weekend to go. The waffle colored guy was there, as you said in the freestyle.
Yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie. I had just got back in town from doing like a 4-city trip, 4 days, 4 days for a flight. So
yeah, for you, because you have a pretty crazy life that you've lived.
Mm-hmm.
You've been doing the rap shit. I feel like I first met you probably around 2010 or 11 when I was living out there. It's been a grind.
Yeah.
What motivates you to still do this hip hop shit, man? Because you are like you're a new artist, but you're also not. You're a veteran in this shit. You've been doing this shit for a long time.
Basically, like the progress.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then like, if you listen to my stuff from then to now, it's a huge. I don't even sound the same. You know what I'm saying? And then, man, I ain't gonna lie, it's keeping me out of a lot of trouble. You know what I'm saying? So the progress, and then my son. So he's looking at everything I do right now too, real heavy. So that's the last thing I want to do is do some
dumb shit.
Yeah.
Because how old is your son?
He's 15.
Oh yeah, he's old enough to like.
Yeah, like he's scoping everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you obviously coming up, you did 5 years?
Yeah.
Federal.
I did a 5-year Fed, but yeah, U.S.
How old were you when that happened?
20, 21, something like that. But yeah, I did 5 years max Fed prison.
What for?
Distribution of weapons.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's a serious.
Yeah, distribution of weapons got me on a domestic terrorist list.
So you were like Nicolas Cage in The Lord of War, kind of?
Nah. what was going on? Me and my homie was taking guns down to Arizona and trading them to the essays for coke.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know how big those dudes were. You know what I'm saying? We were just going down there getting it. You know what I'm saying? Bringing it
You didn't
back.
know who, like necessarily how.
I didn't know how it was rocking. You know what I'm saying? So we were doing that, and the feds was on them. I guess some dudes was part of the cartel.
Shit.
Yeah.
So you just kind of caught a stray.
Well, we went down there to buy something, and then one day, one of them was like, "Hey, can you give me some of those?" And I was like, "Yeah," because my homie had a gun on his hip, and he was like, "You give me that, I give you this." I was like, "What?" I was like, "You give me that whole thing?" He said, "Yeah, you give me 3 of those, I give you this whole thing." So we left, came back. He gave it to us, and then I went and sold it to him. I was like, it was the best money ever.
Of course.
We started going back and forth doing that. Dude was giving me a list, and
of like what he needed.
Yeah, and it started to get a little crazy after a while. So I mean, everything happened for a reason. So the last time he gave me a list, it was like a grenade launcher on there. I was like, man, I can't get that.
Yeah, where am I gonna get that? And what do you need that for?
He was like, you can go ahead, just try.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right. But by then, you know what I'm saying? Like a week later, we ended up in cuffs.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is one thing. I mean, I'm from Arizona, and there's always a very high premium on firepower because I feel like they're always fighting wars.
Yeah, because we was going out to Tucson.
Mm-hmm.
That's where this was going on at.
Yeah. The cartels, every cartel is always at war, and they always need more weapons, man.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was real crazy.
Damn. So did those guys end up getting knocked too?
Yeah. They when they came and got those guys, they wrapped me up, and I didn't know what was going on or whatever. So it was kind of like they knew what was up. Like the feds ain't stupid. You know what I'm saying? Right. So they was like, okay, this dude ain't.
What was doing 5 years like, man? Was that something that was like mentally? I'm sure it was mentally taxing. Something.
Man, it was a real eye opener. Cause I did my time at a USP, so I was the only one in there that didn't have at least a 10 to 15 year sentence.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it was weird. I actually had an attempted murder warrant in Denver, Colorado Springs. So they had to send me to a max because I was high custody. So they sent me to a max prison. I mean, it was an eye opener, like out the gate. Like it was a totally different world, man. It ain't nothing like you see on the TikToks and stuff. How dudes be in prison playing around and stuff like that. It's like everyday serious.
Yeah, they say like federal, like is federal prison nicer than a state prison though?
If you go to FCI or a camp, yeah.
But where you were at, it was
everybody in there. Like my roommate had 35 years.
Jesus.
Yeah, one of my dudes, Pee Wee, I used to hang out with all the time. He had 99 years.
For what?
My dude had 35 years for drugs. Pee Wee had robbed a couple banks. But so everybody that had violence, anybody that had any violence in their record got sent there.
They were at your spot. Mm-hmm. Jesus, man.
Yeah.
Like for you, was it like what were the things that you had to kind of like do on a daily basis to kind of keep your mind somewhere else, you know? Because I'm sure
Man, I used to write every day. I used to rap.
just write
I
lyrics.
used to rap, yeah. And then, like, you know, the homies or the car I was with, they used to like, man, let me hear that. Let me hear that. You know what I'm saying? They used to like to hear me rap and stuff like that. But other than that, work out like crazy. And then when I first got there, it was kind of a weird situation because I was in a room with a dude from Mississippi, and you know my homie was like, man, we need this cell. My homie actually took a cell from him. Mm-hmm. He was like, you can't be in this cell no more. You know what I'm saying? Da-da-da. And I was like, damn, this shit work like this. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, but.
That's crazy. So before you got incarcerated, were you dabbling with the rap shit?
Barely, yeah.
Would you say that you getting locked up made you like hone that a little bit more?
100%. Because being in there, you know, even like, you know, being in a room with somebody who had 35 years, you know what I'm saying? He got locked up at 18.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it makes you look at things a lot different. You know what I'm saying? You ain't in there with everybody that got 2-3 years. You're going to run into half of these dudes on the street. Like, I'd say 95% of the people I was in prison with will never see the streets again.
Crazy.